Well, I have been assigned to lead my own church, and there's a big twist. Guys, I kind of can't believe this is happening. Hey guys, it's Father David Michael Moses. I'm a Catholic priest. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you find this kind of stuff interesting. So this video has been a long time in the making. It's kind of the story of my life. So if you know me or you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that for the last 6 years as a priest, I've been what we call a parochial vicar, or an assistant priest to another priest who is the pastor, who is the leader of the parish. That has been an absolutely blessed experience. I've totally loved that. But at some point, you know that you're going to be called up to lead your own church, to be the father for the community. And as a kid, you kind of dream of that. You dream of becoming a priest one day and leading your own flock, leading them through this life and hopefully into eternity. I've heard described that as the parochial vicar, as the assistant priest, you're sort of like the fun uncle. You can do all the fun stuff. You can be there with everybody, with the kids. But when you're leading your own church, then you're really the father. These are your kids, and you are totally responsible for their souls. I have no problem saying that I wanted to be a priest because I wanted to positively impact other people. And as an administrator, one day a pastor, you can just have an incredible effect on people's lives. Many of the saints have said that, I'm a Christian for my own sake, but I'm a priest for your sake. I definitely feel that way. Like, I'm a Christian because I want to go to heaven, but I'm a priest because I want to bring other people to heaven. Which is why I was so excited when I got a call last week saying that the Archbishop had assigned me to be an administrator, to lead a parish. As I mentioned yesterday, there's so much peace in knowing that the bishop has assigned me here. For me, that makes it so clear this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Quick aside, the term administrator is the term that we use when a priest is leading a parish, usually for the first year. And then after that, you're often named a pastor. So here's the big twist. On the call, I heard Archbishop has assigned you to be the administrator of Christ Our Light and Saint Stanislaus. I'm not going to be leading one parish, I'm going to be leading two. Now, these parishes are often grouped together, but I was not expecting this assignment at all. It's kind of like finding out that your wife is going to be having a baby and then finding out that she's pregnant with twins. There's going to be two. Now, in some cases, you'll find parishes where there's a main church and then what we call a mission church, which is another church building that people go out to, but it's really just one parish. This actually isn't that case. In this situation, there's actually two separate parishes. So two different churches where Mass is said, two different staffs, two separate Mass schedules, two everything, but one priest, and that's me. It's kind of crazy. I can't believe this is happening. So I've never visited these parishes yet. We have about 140 Catholic churches in our archdiocese. I have not been to a lot of them. So I'm hoping I get some of this stuff right as I'm talking about it. Hopefully I will be able to go visit the next week or so to get a little bit more data. If somebody from the parishes is watching, please comment below if I get any of this stuff incorrect. So two parishes. The first is called Christ Our Light. Love the name. It's about 700 families. And the other parish is called Saint Stanislaus. It's about 300 families. So that's families, not parishioners. It's about 1,000 families combined, probably about 3,000 parishioners, assuming there's 3 or 4 people in each family. A quick word on the names. I mentioned in the video yesterday that I felt like in anticipation of each of my assignments, the Lord has kind of prepared me so that the name of the assignment very much matched my interior movements in my prayer. And this first parish, Christ Our Light, light has been such a huge theme in my life over the last few months. One of the biggest things we did at the parish, we had a big young adult retreat. And I really prayed through what the theme would be, and I suggested to the team that we call it Lux Aeterna, which translates to eternal light. And the team loved it. We had this whole candlelit mass at the retreat. The light was like such a powerful theme in that. I just recently wrote a song about light. And one of my favorite verses in the Bible is, "A light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." The day the news went public, I was praying Mass that day at the nursing home, and the collect, the opening prayer for the Mass that day, talked about the Holy Spirit as a light for all of us. I also did a retreat this past year at a Norbertine Abbey. I actually made a video about that you can check out. And one of the things that came up in that retreat was a devotion for me to Saint Philomena. She just kept popping up a ton. And I came back to our parish and realized in the hallway, very near my office at Christ the Good Shepherd, where I am now, there's a picture of a saint, a young woman, and it just says, "Daughter of Light." And it turns out it's an image of Saint Philomena, who I just recently started a devotion to. She's known as a daughter of light, and now I'm going to Christ Our Light Parish. And lastly, for those of you who follow me on social media, whenever people in person say, hey, Father, I follow you online, I often respond, the internet's a dark place, but we're trying to bring some light. So that is so much been a movement in my heart, this image of light, and I'm so excited to be going to a parish that is called Christ Our Light. The other parish is St. Stanislaus Kostka. I have to admit, I'm not as familiar with the saint, but I looked up some things, and it is really, really fitting. First of all, it's a Polish saint. He was Polish. My first parish was St. Faustina's, who was also a Polish saint, so maybe kind of a connection there. He grew up in a noble family, really, really devoted to prayer. He gets this illness when he's 14 away at school, and the owner of the house where he isn't Catholic and won't let anybody bring him communion while he's sick. So St. Stanislaus, having read that if you pray to St. Barbara, you wouldn't die without the sacraments, he prays that St. Barbara will help him in this moment to receive communion. Well, one night he sees this beautiful virgin martyr come in with 2 angels into his room carrying the Blessed Sacrament. He goes on to enter the Jesuit order when he's just 17 years old, but unfortunately gets very, very sick and actually dies just about a year later. He's considered to be the patron saint of youth, young students, and seminarians. I love that because I entered seminary when I was 18, and actually I'm going to be the youngest administrator in the diocese now. So I'm definitely going to be needing his prayers for my youth, in my youth, that I can be wise even though I'm young. And one of the great quotes he's known for is, I was made for greater things. And that's what I see lacking in most young people nowadays, is a lack of desire for greatness. So I love that he thinks we need to all see ourselves as being made for greater things, for the eternal. And I hope I can definitely help to bring some of that to the parish. Absolutely love both of the patrons of these parishes. Location-wise, they're about 10 minutes from each other, so pretty close. Both are about an hour from downtown Houston. I'm in the Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston. One kind of interesting thing, it's only about 25 minutes from Texas A&M in a town called College Station. Texas A&M, even though it's a public university, is on fire with the Catholic faith. St. Mary's, the Catholic church there, is absolutely on fire. People there are just so engaged in the faith. So it's awesome to be that close to a community that is so alive, especially with St. Stanislaus, who's the patron of the youth. So we'll put the addresses on the screen. Also, here's the mass schedules. If you are ever around near the area, come visit, come say hi. I would love to see you. It's always cool to meet people who have seen some of the videos, especially if you're not Catholic or you've been away from the Catholic Church. Come check it out. Come say hi. Refrain from receiving the Eucharist at Mass, but please come worship with us. I would love to see you there. So, what am I thinking about going into this new responsibility? Well, first of all, I just really want to get to know the people. I want to get to know their stories. I want to see how I can serve. Where's the need? That's why I became a priest, because I wanted to be helpful. I wanted to serve. And that starts by having the right information, from hearing from the people how I can be helpful. I look at being an administrator, and God willing, one day a pastor, as kind of being a custodian who's taking care of someone else's artwork rather than someone who's making their own artwork. I want to care for this community in the way that they have grown, the way that they've been formed, as opposed to trying to create the community in my image. That's the last thing I want to do. Yes, I definitely want to use my gifts, but I want to use those gifts to help them. How can I be useful? The model for priesthood is absolutely Christ on the cross, who for our sake, because of what we needed, laid down his life. That's love. So how can I lay down my life, hopefully be a good shepherd for these people? How can I lay down my life for them so that they can have salvation ultimately? Because this is a YouTube video, even for me, how can I use my social media for the benefit of these people? For evangelization, for formation, how can this be of service in this assignment? I've already started praying for them. I said Mass for my parish and my parishioners the first day I found out where I was going. Just did the novena to the Holy Spirit for them, and just really excited to get out there. For those of you guys watching, I'm certainly hoping to continue to do social media in this new assignment. We'll see what the schedule is like. We'll see what's possible. But let me know what you'd be curious about seeing. Maybe some vlogs, maybe some tours of the new parish. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, please pray for me, my new responsibility. Please pray for my parishioners. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll keep you updated on the journey. Gosh, I love being a priest. It's an adventure every day. Good things to come. Christ our light. St. Stanislaus. Let's light it up. Let's go. God bless you guys.